Hello everybody. Just wanted to take this opportunity to share a project that I've just finished. It's a hit and miss engine, and it's made from a Brunner air compressor. I believe it's an air compressor, say from maybe the 1930s or 40s. It's quite old. I found it on eBay, and I thought, watching other people's movies of them making similar projects, I thought it would be a good project to try. It started off just quite slowly, getting all the materials together. I wanted to sort of not spend as much money as I could, or I wanted to spend as little money as I could, using a lot of second-hand parts. So as you can see, the engine, it's got two flywheels. The original flywheel that came with the engine, it didn't have enough inertia to carry the engine through, and I couldn't find another flywheel that actually matched the original one. So the flywheels that I used were actually two trolley wheels, or they're cart wheels, that I got from a bearing supply, and they were quite cheap. They were about $30 or $40 each. They had bearings in them, so I pressed the bearings out and pressed in just a piece of aluminium stock, and just bored out the shaft out of the center of the aluminium. So they made quite nice flywheels. Everything else is just made from stock, from just basic stock. The governor made just from stock material. The governor slip ring is made just from aluminium, because that's just what I had lying around at the time. The fuel tank is made from a piece of copper pipe, and the ends are engine Welsh plugs, or freeze plugs, which were just machined to fit into the end of the copper pipe, and that was just all silver soldered together. The tap was just made from bar stock. The fuel mixer valve was just made from bar stock as well. The ignition system is interesting. I built the ignition system from scratch. The circuit board, I designed the circuit just from small bits and pieces that I found online, some circuit diagrams, and put it together. The circuit board, I found it easier just to get it made overseas. It was quite cheap. So I made a few of those circuit boards. The ignition coil is off an old Ford. It's a spark plug topped ignition coil. It works really well, and it's got a LiPo battery in there as well, and that's all self-contained in the little wooden box that I've made. All the brass fittings for the box just came off eBay. They were easy to find. A lot of the wiring that you see there, the ignition the ignition timing wire there, the braided one you see, that was off eBay. And the ignition system uses an optical sensor, and you can sort of see there, it's hidden behind a brass cover, but there's a little sort of a knife there that breaks the beam, and that's how the ignition works. And the ignition gets fired off a little indent off the cam, so it's exactly the same cam that runs the exhaust valve, and that same cam has a little indent for the firing of the spark plug. It's all pretty self-explanatory, I suppose, apart from that. The valves are two surplus valves I found. I think they're off a Honda little brush cutter, a 4-stroke brush cutter, and I made them fit and machined them to fit into the existing head. So as you can see, it's a nice looking little project, and I'll just show you now the startup sequence of how I get it going, and you can have a bit of a listen to it running. Okay, I'm getting ready to run the engine now, so I'm just putting some oil into the oil cups for the axle. I just use a regular 30 weight mineral oil. I think it's a car oil. The drip oiler uses 30 weight oil as well. And I've also got the same oil in a small needle syringe little dripping bottle, and I just use that to lubricate the sliding parts, as well as the area behind the governor, and it seems to work quite well. It stays in there for quite a while. It sometimes leaches out a little bit, but no, I think it's pretty good. And yeah, after I do the oiling, I prime the engine and get it running. So here we go. Just getting ready now, turning the, you can't see it very well from this side, but I'm just turning the fuel on and opening the breather on the top of the fuel tank, and just giving it a few spins. I just open the ignition just to turn it on. The on-off switch is in the top of the box there. That's the oiler, so the drip oiler I've just opened up, and the drip oiler, it runs at about 1 drip every minute, which seems pretty good. Thanks for watching, everybody. Please have a look back again a little bit later on, because I'm working on a different project. It's another hit and miss engine, and it's a modification of the Chinese-made Kurzel design, which I've changed around and made it look a bit more vintage. So I'll be putting that up very, very shortly, maybe in the next few weeks. So please check back again, because that's a really nice project and it come up really, really nice. Okay, thanks everybody for watching.